Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness appointed the offices of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of such and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of eternal trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under deliberations in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county and of those whose interest you have committed to our church. Amen. Honorable members, in line with our standing orders number 32.2, I want to direct that the quorum bell be rung for the first 5 minutes. Honorable members, I want to again refer us to the standing order earlier quoted. That is standing order number 32-2. And I want to direct that the quorum bell be further rung for another 5 minutes. Clerk, can you take us through the order of the day? Order members, we've confirmed that we have sufficient forum to continue. So, Clerk, can you take us through the order of the day?
Order paper number 201 of today, Wednesday, 19th June 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Honorable Odari.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Speaker, sorry. Madam Speaker, I rise to seek a statement from the chairperson of the Committee on Education, Technical Training and Social Service regarding the payment of bursary due to schools for the year 2023-2024. Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform this House that the Kisumu County Education Fund Act and the Kisumu County Education Fund Regulations, the county government through the Department of Education is obligated to timelessly provide bursary payment to school in order to ensure that bona fide students are not affected due to late payments of bursaries. I wish to further inform this Honorable House that in the financial year, no bursary have been disbursed to schools in my ward as per the requirements, despite only 18 days remaining to the end of the financial year, and therefore has derailed and continues to put at risk the learning of students in various schools. Honorable Speaker, I wish therefore to request the committee to provide a response on the following matters. Number 1, how much money has been disbursed into the Education Fund account for the year 2023-2024? Number 2, when is the disbursement being done, and what is the amount of money to be disbursed before the end of the financial year? Number 3, the list of expenditure of the amount disbursed into the Education Fund account. Then number 4, the process and status of identifying the bursary receipt for year 2023-2024 for all the 35 wards. And then lastly, measures to address the delay in payment of bursaries. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, a statement is being sought by Honorable Odari regarding the disbursements of bursaries. The statement is properly referred to the Committee of Education, and I don't see the Chair Education, neither is the Deputy. The Deputy has just arrived. I don't know whether you have a response to Honorable Odari's statement. Honorable Komuda.
Many thanks, Honorable Madam Speaker, to fellow colleagues as well. Indeed, I'm privileged to arise as the Vice Chair in regard to the statement made by my colleague, Honorable Adonija Odari. I beg to request for some a little being of some weight. I beg, Honorable Speaker, that to give us some time so that we are able to go through as a committee. Many thanks once more.
Honorable members, you've heard the response of the chair. Before I give it back to Honorable Odari, whether he is comfortable with the request of the Deputy Chair Education, maybe I can give one or two members if they may also want to make a few comments on that same statement. Yes, Honorable Rakwach.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the statement that has been raised by Honorable Odari is a very important one. And just as he has put it, we only have around 18 days for us to close this financial year. Is it? Yes. In fact, it is 12 days for us to end this financial year. So I don't know whether this is the time we'll have a history of bursary going to the pending bill. Honorable Speaker, at the same time, we know that the rationale for awarding our students, or rather our children, the bursaries, it is on the basis of bright and needy. These students, we can only measure their brightness if we allow them stay at school and study alongside the rest who are fortunate to have paid their fees. But as at now, our children are at home. They are not studying. The rest they are competing with are in classes studying. Even if at the end of the day, this bursary is paid and they are allowed back at school, when exams comes, because that is the only measure for their brightness, they will not perform well. They will perform very poorly. And when it comes to next financial year, even when the bursary committees will be awarding the bursaries, these children who are awarded bursaries this year may not get themselves in the manifest because they shall have performed poorly. So if the rationale will remain the same, that it is bright and needy, these students will be needy next year because they will have few arrears, but they will not be bright because they shall be at the bottom in terms of performance. So we are ruining the future of our children if we cannot pay these fees in time. And remember, even if we delay, eventually this fee will still have to be paid. So we should come up with a mechanism to ensure that when the award is done in January or at the beginning of February, then we can have the money paid by mid of February so that our children stay at school. They are going to pay what they have not benefited for. Because if it is lunch, they have not taken that lunch in school because they are at home. If it is tuition, they have not studied because they are at home. But eventually we will have to pay. Which services are we going to pay for? So it is as good as a lost money. Let us have a mechanism to make sure that by February, this money is paid and our children remain at school. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Were.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, matters pertaining bursary is a weighty matter in this county. And Madam Speaker, I want to report that members of County Assembly representing various wards within Kisumu County can no longer sit pretty in their offices. simply because people are paying for their blood because they promised that the bright and needy pupils were going to benefit from this program. Madam Speaker, it has not happened. Madam Speaker, we are approaching the end of June, and we are no longer sure whether it will happen. Madam Speaker, we have families that depend on this little amount. It may be little as people think, but it is much to some of the families. Madam Speaker, let us use our powers in this House to ensure that the beneficiaries that were listed to benefit from this program get monies disbursed in these schools, in different schools as per promised. And Madam Speaker, I want to concur with my colleague, Honorable Akwach. We should draw up a roadmap and advise those who are handling bursaries so that they can channel money to bursary account so that we have timely disbursement of funds to our pupils in different schools where they learn, so that they cannot have each and every time, we cannot create panic. Because whenever we create panic in them, Madam Speaker, that the spirit of working hard is not going to be there. Instead of encouraging our students to work hard, they are no longer working hard because they think that their leaders, that their parents elected, are not being sincere with them. So, Madam Speaker, I want also to put my point that the executive must act. With these few days remaining, let them act, and we want to ensure that monies are disbursed. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, we've gone past the statement hour, but considering the magnitude of the statement, I saw Honorable Ochele on his feet. I saw Honorable Onditi and Honorable Billy and Obaso. Those are four, but these are a statement that needs a response from the government. I'll give the last opportunity to the majority leader to respond before we give direction on the duration required for the feedback. So I want to ask that we take the shortest time possible. I want to give the four of us 5 minutes. 5 minutes, so you take one minute each. Honorable Ochele, can I start with you? 1 minute. Honorable Karen.
A point of order.
Yes, Honorable Karen.
Madam Speaker, I stand to be guided. I don't know whether we are going the right way, because when a statement is sought by a honorable member before the floor of the House, I think it is right for it to be directed to the relevant committee. And now I see as if we are debating.
Honorable Karen, you understand that there's a provision that members are given an opportunity to make comments, not debate. They are giving their comments, not debate. We are not debating on the statement, but they are giving their statements. That is allowed within the standing orders, and we have not, by way of giving them an opportunity, gone against our standing order. So they are rightly so.
Madam Speaker, I've gone through my standing order, but I can't see it. Thank you.
Thank you. But you're guided. Honorable Ochele, you have 1 minute. Just giving our comments on the statement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, may I first start by commending you for that ruling. Our children are suffering, and when money fails to be disbursed, time has been eaten. So our main concern is the disbursement of bursary to schools. And members are free to give their comments like I'm doing now. Madam Speaker, I want to believe that this county has been receiving money, and the account called Education Fund account has ever been active. wondering why even a portion of the finances we receive from the exchequer fail to be remitted to these accounts. Because if we've been remitting even small amounts to this account, then by this time, at least even 4 classes would have been given these finances. But today, I received a notice rather list, that even those who are on scholarship, their payments are arriving as late as last week. Scholarship. That means they have been at the mercy of the teachers and the principals at schools. Now, if they are disbursing the scholarship funds today, when are they disbursing these bursaries? And will they accept to consider it as a pending bill? How does a recurrent expenditure be termed a pending bill? Or are we going to forego this remittance for the 2023-2024 financial year? I'm wondering aloud, and Madam Speaker, I think the leadership of this House should take this matter seriously, because it has gone out of our hands, and as you ruled, majority leader should give us direction and action be taken immediately. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, members. Let us consider time. Honorable Billy, 1 minute strict.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want also to take this opportunity first to thank the Honorable Member for bringing this statement here. Madam Speaker, we've been receiving a lot of calls in our wards. All the students that thought that they benefited from the bursary allocations, nearly all of them are home. So it is a concern everywhere. And Madam Speaker, it is so unfortunate that this time we are late in disbursing bursaries, because to help our students at schools, you have to give them quality time with their books. But what is happening, like nearly a month, some of them are home, it means that we are even affecting their studies. Even their performance is going to be affected. So that even if we give the disbursements, I don't think it is going to be of help, because we have already destroyed the lives of our students.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Bill. Thank you, Honorable Bill.
Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Onditi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I just want to advise that even as you direct this report or this statement to the Committee of Education, Madam Speaker, I want you to be cognizant of the time, given that we are counting days to the end of this financial year. Madam Speaker, just like my colleagues have said, today I went down Russia Hostel. Between Russia and here, I've received over 10 phone calls inquiring when the bursary is going to be paid. Madam Speaker, these members here are not sleeping, are not sitting. Most of them are not going to their ward offices, because every moment you step in that office, you are being bombarded with the issue of when is the bursary being paid. Madam Speaker, it is so unfortunate that we are discussing the issue of bursary payment at the tail end of the financial year, as if we never knew that bursaries are supposed to be paid.
Thank you, Honorable Onditi. Thank you. Thank you for the concern.
Therefore, Madam Speaker, consider time as you assign this statement to the committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Obaso, 1 minute.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this is a matter of concern to every member of this county assembly, and it cuts across. And because of its magnitude, that's why you can see every member is very interested in this statement. Madam Speaker, we've been failed, and we've been failed by the implementers, that's the executive. And they should answer to these, their failures. So I think whoever is concerned should be brought to book so that he answers why our kids has not gone to school because of this, or because of bursaries. Thank you.
Yeah, you have it.
Thank you. Honorable Boyton.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Kindly allow me, we are past the statement hour. Honorable Boyton, allow me give this opportunity to the majority leader to make a final response before we give directives on this.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the statement raised by Honorable Dari is very urgent and weighty, and is a matter that is affecting all members of this House. On behalf of the Chair Education, I will take my personal initiative to meet the Department of Education and Finance and bring back a comprehensive report within 1 week. Thank you.
Honorable Odari, I hope you listened carefully to the response of the majority leader, who is the leader of government business in the House. Are you satisfied with the response from the majority leader, Honorable Odari?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. Honorable Odari is satisfied with the response from the majority leader, and the statement therefore dies with that response. So, Honorable Komudo, your committee is relieved of the responsibility of bringing the report to the House. Next order.
Commencement of business. Order number 8, motion. Adoption of a report of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation Committee on the status of Moroni County Hospital, status of Lumumba County Hospital, and the status of Kombewa County Hospital.
Honorable members, in line with the ruling of the Speaker regarding delegation of reports, motions from committees to a deputy or any other member, Honorable Jagongo, Chair Health, has written, I confirm receipt of his delegation statement. He has delegated the responsibility of moving this report to the Honorable Majority Kennedy Oko. So, Honorable Kennedy.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. On behalf of the Chair, Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation Committee, Honorable Vincent Jagongo, I wish to move a motion for adoption from a report on the status of Lumumba County Hospital, Kombewa County Hospital, and the Moroni County Hospital. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Article 185, 3 of the Constitution of Kenya, Section 8 of the County Government Act number 17 of 2012, and orders number 193, Part 5A and 193, second schedule of the Kisumu Assembly Standing Orders, the committee at its meeting held on 29th June 2023 made a resolution to initiate a comprehensive surveillance exercise on the status of health facilities within the county. Consequently, the committee communicated its intention to the Honorable Speaker and sought his authority in accordance with orders number 165 of the County Assembly Standing Orders to hold its sittings outside the County Assembly present, referred to Annex 3 of the report. The committee commenced this exercise with focus on assessing critical aspects like service offerings, patient volume, staffing levels, equipment functionality, ambulances, ongoing projects, financial resources, and challenges faced by each facility. This report, therefore, is the fourth and last phase of the committee's investigation for the financial year 2023-2024 and presents the observations, findings at Lumumba, Moroni County Hospitals. It also includes recommendations for the improvement of Kombewa and proposes recommendations for improvement. The committee established that despite their efforts to deliver quality care, these facilities are facing significant challenges that hinder the operations. These include, that is for Lumumba, 1, lack of piped oxygen, 2, inadequate staffing, 3, inadequate funding. 4, delayed reimbursements of NHIF claims. 5, inadequate commodities. 6, lack of X-ray machine. 7, lack of a utility vehicle. 8, lack of a title deed. 9, lack of service charters. 10, lack of biochemistry machine. 11, lack of blood fridge. Moroni, the road leading to hospital is impassable. 2, asbestos on the roof of block within the facility and staff quarters. 3, situated along major highways, the hospital lacks key equipment like X-ray machine and imaging unit to allow it deliver some of the much sorted after services. 4, the outpatient department block is overdue for maintenance works and also still has asbestos due to high cost associated with the air removal. 5, automatic power backup generator is not installed since delivery to the hospital 3 years ago due to lack of funds. 6, anesthesia machine in theater is only partially functional. There's only spinal type of anesthesias can be used on patients during operations due to major defects in the gas pathways of the machine. 7, the theater lights are also defective. However, the hospital management was in the process of servicing and replacement of the worn-out parts. 8, the hospital roof is torn and leaking when it rains. 9, the septic tank is faulty and leaking to the surrounding areas despite attempts to exhaust it. 10, the postnatal ward has a major crack on the wall that needs urgent reinforcement. 11, condemned staff house. Kombewa. Number 1, poor internet connection which affects online claims and its services as files work. 2, lack of promotion and allowances resulting into low work motivation. 3, inadequate human resource. 4, lack of clean and safe water supply and the facility relies on salty water while is eroding most of its equipment. 5, NHIF debts, the hospital reimbursements take too long or in some cases not repaid. 6, poor supply of electricity causing the facility to rely on generator, hence payment of power and diesel severely tolls on the facility. 7, houses within the facility are occupied by non-medical staff with claim that housing fall under Department of Housing and not medical services. 8, long disposal procedures of unused equipment, e.g. the spoiled X-ray machine. Honorable Speaker, for each of these challenges, the committee has made recommendations as seen from pages 27 to 32 of the report that it believes that with this House approval will bring some improvements to these facilities and enable them to perform to their optimum level. Honorable Speaker, allow me on behalf of the committee to express my gratitude to all the members and secretariat of this committee for their unwavering dedication towards this endeavor. Additionally, the committee extends its appreciation to the officers of the Speaker and the Clerk of the County Assembly of Kisumu for their exceptional support and goodwill, which played a pivotal role in the success of the exercise and the subsequent creation of this report. Honorable Speaker, the committee is deeply thankful to the management of the facilities involved for their warm welcome and complete cooperation during the exercise. Special appreciation to Honorable Mildred Ajumbo, Honorable Vitalis Komuzo, who welcomed and accompanied the committee while visiting their facilities within their jurisdictions. It is an immense honor and privilege, therefore, on behalf of the committee to move that this House adopts the report of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation Committee on the status of Lumumba, Kombewa, and Moroni Council. And Honorable Speaker, I ask Honorable Karen Odhiambo to second.
Yes, Honorable Karen. Honorable members, a report of the Committee on Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation. A motion on the adoption of the report by the Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation Committee on the status of Lumumba County Hospital, Kombewa County Hospital and Mohoroni County Hospital has been moved by the Honorable Majority for Honorable Vincent Jagongo and seconded by Honorable Karen. I want to therefore propose a question of debate, and I want to say that the motion is now open for debate. Yes, Honorable Billy. Thank you, Honorable Billy was just Honorable Were.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also rise, first of all, to congratulate the committee for a job well done. Madam Speaker, if you look at the report that is touching on the 3 facilities that we have within our county, there are a raft of challenges that affect almost the entire 3 facilities. Madam Speaker, there are things going by the challenges and recommendation of the committee. There are things that we can get done, Madam Speaker, so that we ensure that we get the best and the quality services from these facilities. Madam Speaker, the first challenge that has been noted by the family is lack of piped oxygen. This is something that can be done, Madam Speaker. And inadequate staffing. Inadequate staffing, Madam Speaker, it is something that can be prioritized by the department in ensuring that they coordinate this with the County Public Service Board to ensure that our facilities get the best, qualified, and enough personnel that can ensure that we get the best of services that our people require. There's another challenge, Madam Speaker, of inadequate funding. I know money is never enough, always, because we compete. In our county, we have more than 10 departments, and these 10 departments compete amongst themselves. Madam Speaker, health is the bigger chunk of our budget. And Madam Speaker, you cannot work if you're not healthy. And whether we compete in giving money out to different departments, we must ensure that we give health department the first priority. To ensure that we are healthy first is when we can build our economy. Madam Speaker, I implore this honorable House that we ensure that we make it possible for our health department to get, if not enough, but adequate funding. Madam Speaker, there are some challenges like X-ray machine, biochemistry machine. These are things that can be done. And Madam Speaker, I'm grateful that the committee was able to pinpoint all these anomalies and all these problems where necessary. And I believe we shall get a proper cure and solution. I therefore beg to support, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Boyton.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, before I give my comment on the matter that is in the floor of the House, Madam Speaker, let me first thank Majority Leader for giving a quick and prompt reply to or response to the statement that was brought by Honorable Odari. Although, Madam Speaker, I only wanted to mention one aspect of that report, of that statement, and you never gave me time. So let me just mention it because you've now given me time.
Honorable Boyton, you are out of order. Kindly focus on the matter on the floor.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, there's a reason or reasons why the mover of a motion needs to read the motion. Ideally, Madam Speaker, earlier on, a report was being read right from page 1 to the last page. But direction came from leadership that we use what we call moving notes so as to move faster. Of course, we adopted this and that is what we are using. But my concern today, Madam Speaker, is very valid. The mover of the motion gave us a brief history of each and every sub-county hospital. Then he went further, quoting or mentioning the challenges that all these three facilities are facing. But now, when it comes to recommendation, which is very key, the mover of the motion is telling us from what page to which page where these recommendations are listed. I believe and I know, Madam Speaker, that these recommendations were very key, and I wish you could read from number one to the last one so that we ventilate properly on the recommendation. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Boyton. I hope the mover of the motion is taking notes. Honorable Ochele.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, may I just pick a cue from where Honorable Boyton has left? Madam Speaker, despite the fact that we have the soft copy with us, but for the sake of debate and for the sake of further transmissions, normally a motion of this nature is normally forwarded to the relevant department with even Hansard. Madam Speaker, it would have been very, very wise of us, because the main thing in this report is the observations and recommendations. It should have been captured, well captured from the mover. Which recommendations are we making? And that should be captured in the answer, Madam Speaker. And I want to believe that if it is a mistake, then it should not be repeated next time. We must do things the right way for the first time and every time. Madam Speaker, health matter is very key, and there are certain burning issues in our health facilities. It is not just about the three facilities, but there are certain aspects like lack of staff, Madam Speaker. All facilities in this county have shortages of staff. I don't know, the last time recruitment could have sorted some of this, but I want to believe that still this county need to employ more of health personnel so that the burden on the few personnel we have should be lessened so that the efficiency is actually improved. Madam Speaker, I was part of the team to some extent as we were going around these facilities. And it is very shocking that in Moroni, there is a big standby generator which was installed in 2019, about 2021. And Madam Speaker, to date, this new important and very expensive equipment, Madam Speaker, is still lying there untapped. And maybe some sections of it are rusting, Madam Speaker. I want to believe that if the government is serious, such kind of an equipment should be not lying there unutilized. And I thought maybe after our visitation, something could have been done. But to date, I believe Honorable Komudo will inform the House. I want to believe that it is still in that state we left it. Madam Speaker, there is this aspect which I don't know whether it is in the observation or in the recommendation, the aspect of drugs. Most of these facilities lack drugs. And the most common drugs we find in our facilities are painkillers. And painkillers are not for treatment, but just to soothe. So I don't know what the government is planning to do so that we always have enough of drugs for tropical diseases. Madam Speaker, another aspect which I want us to to convey to the executive is this aspect of theft. Theft is rampant, and from the report by the PICPA committee, Madam Speaker, there's theft which has been reported to this house, theft of finances. But there's this silent one which has never been reported, theft of drugs and non-pharmaceutical equipments which are portable. Madam Speaker, sometimes the government struggles and supply drugs to our facilities, but these drugs get their way. They barely get consumed by the patients. The one part which I can remember is from Moroni and can serve as an example, where a whole MOH drives into a facility and loads almost all the drugs supplied by the government away and sells to local pharmaceuticals. And Madam Speaker, that was just one which was caught. But a number of facilities, drugs are supplied today, the following day at night, you see different tuk-tuks pick up carrying commodities from the facilities. These should be tabbed so that the patients and our people get value for money. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support.
Yes, Honorable Ajumbo.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the chance. I stand to support the Health Committee report that was read by our Majority Leader on Kennedy. I want to start by saying that most of us rarely think about health until a crisis or a pandemic captures our attention. Madam Speaker, these health facilities are there to prevent illnesses, injuries, and death. From the observation by the Health Committee when they were going around, first I want to thank them for noticing that I was part of the delegation when they visited Kombewa Sub-County Hospital. And even besides that, I also made sure they were comfortable by eating very good food. Yes, so I think that's why my name has appeared in the report. I have seen quite a number of issues that have been raised in the 3 sub-county hospitals, Lumumba, Moroni, and Kombewa. Almost they are similar, because lack of X-ray machine appears in all the facilities, inadequate funding appears in all the facilities, lack of title deeds appears in all facilities, no generator, no internet connections that can also interfere, lack of promotion in the staff, HIF debts, no safe water for the facilities, poor supply of electricity, and so many items and areas that have been identified in 3 sub-county hospitals. Madam Speaker, health is a very important matter in the community. And many people visit these facilities so that they can get access to treatment. But you find some of these facilities, or almost all of them, do not have drugs. And when you visit some of these facilities at night, you would really cry, because you'd find there are no medical personnel to attend to you. Just 2 weeks ago, we lost a relative, and the way they were narrating the story, they went to Kombewa Sub-County Hospital at 4 in the morning, and by 10, the patient had died. And this patient died out of negligence, Madam Speaker. So sometimes some of these health facilities, or most of them, there's a lot of negligence on the part of the personnel. And Madam Speaker, now that we're doing the budget for 2023-2024, and those coming budgets, I would wish that in those sub-county hospitals, they're given priorities, so that when you look at the budget of 2023-24, some of these issues affecting them would be captured in the budget, Madam Speaker. And I implore the department to take the matter of sub-county hospitals seriously. Because besides sub-county hospitals, where else would you go? So I would wish that
even our majority leader would have read the entire report. Just like Honorable Ochele has said, when you do a summary of such a serious report, sincerely, we are not here to be in a hurry, but just do the notes so that you read it quickly, we rush out. No. We can sit here, listen to the entire report, so that we can also give our input. But without giving the observations and recommendations, Madam Speaker, I would wish going forward the entire report is read. Thank you. I support the report.
Yes, Honorable Bill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to support the report. And again, I want to thank the committee, the Health Committee, for a good report, because it shows us what is really happening in our county, Kisumu. And the same, it is a picture of what is really happening around Kisumu. Madam Speaker, I want to put my attention on the structures that we have in this county, Kisumu. I was expecting this report to have that, and I've seen it, meaning it is something that cuts across all the wards. Madam Speaker, the structures that we are having now in nearly all the hospitals, I don't know what is happening, but I believe all the wards, the recently built buildings have cracks. From the report I can see it, and again in my ward, nearly all the buildings that were brought up in the recent years, they are older than what was already there. Meaning, the contractors that we have on the ground, I believe if our engineers are really working, then the contractors that are taking on the projects in our hospitals are doing a shoddy job. For my case, it is not in the report because they were not there, but just to add to it, in my ward in Lela there's a hospital there, which already, in fact the governor launched it. He came, then 1 year down the line, half of the hospital is nearly down. So it is a clear picture of really what is happening, and I want to believe from this, what we are having in this report, Waziri and his team are going to help, that Waziri of Infrastructure is going to have keen attention on the people that pick contracts, especially in our hospitals. A hospital is an area where when one is sick, at least just by entering the gate, you are supposed to at least feel well. But some of our hospitals, if you visit them, just from the gate, you get more sick. So with their plan that they had of, Waziri was talking about the spoke model, where every ward they are going to develop one hospital and equip it well. I believe we are not going to have what we are seeing here. And again, another thing that affects the medical sector is the staff. Most of them don't stay very long because they get greener pastures outside the country and also inside the country, and then they go away. So the public service board, the county public service board, they should pay keen attention so that there's no vacuum. Whenever one goes, we should replace immediately so that we don't have a team of medics or even nurses that becomes even now difficult to start the employment process. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support.
Honorable Komodo.
Many thanks. Many thanks, Madam Speaker, together with my colleagues. This afternoon, I arise here to contribute on the very capable report, a good report but done by the Committee on Medical and read by our Majority Leader this afternoon. I was personally part of the delegation accompanying the Committee on Medical on the very day they came to my place, to my ward, at Moroni Sub-County Hospital. I want to tell you, Madam Speaker, together with my fellow colleagues, honorable members, that that day was a super day. It was a super day because the things we watched looked to have been a total display or a new scenario seriously pre-organized for the event that was the visit. In that we walked to the very chemist that we have had very numerous complaints through a section of the ward residents seeking medication on this facility and completely missing them. On that very day, Madam Speaker, I will tell you that the pharmacy was well stocked. On that day, things were seriously in place. On that day, the place was very neat, apart from the moribund generator that we noticed, as my colleague Senior Ochele said, Honorable. I want to say, and I want to face reality, and the summary in English that has been brought about by the good report will apply. But I want to do the ordinary summary literally. That Moroni Sub-County Hospital has got no drugs. Moroni Sub-County Hospital is seriously understaffed. Moroni Sub-County Hospital is completely mismanaged. The reasons as to whether there are things being done, the wrong things being done within our finance department or the relevant or irrelevant staff being posted to the institution has got nothing to the residents of the ward. What we want is the action taken immediately by the relevant department relating to this particular institution. I want expertise here today that I've had a lot of blames coming to me as a representative of the area, because where we come from back in the village, people think an MCA is everything. When people have no food or patients have no food in the hospital, it is the MC who is not doing his work. Moroni Sub-County Hospital, Honorable Madam Speaker, there is no proper road leading to that institution. A number of times we've taken the matter with the relevant department, and the grader would come there only to disappear the following day without even doing what brought it there. This is a big issue. I think it is equally mentioned in that report, together with so many anomalies that are there. My special request is that we take it, the committee takes it very seriously with the relevant department, so that these shortcomings should be attended to like yesterday. Many thanks, Madam Speaker, and I stand to support the very good report that has been brought. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Komudo. Honorable Benny Oikopit.
Madam Speaker, this kind of report, the status report, has frequented this plenary, and I think that is a good gesture. Matters of health has been discussed in this plenary, which is a good picture. And then, where are we coming from and where are we heading to? When there is this matter that there are no drugs in the hospitals, as claimed by Honorable Komudo and other honorable members, and it is in this house that the department was crying that their O&M money that they had budgeted for to buy the drugs, they were ordered by the finance department to pay the pending bill. It was said in this house. Where is that matter lying now? Matters come to this house and we take them for granted. So when we take matters for granted and such a report comes and we start lamentation, what are we doing for the people of Kisumu? Madam Speaker, there is the Facility Improvement Fund for these hospitals. And when you look at the budget of Kisumu County, that fund comes to around 600 million. What has been factored in the budget? And that looked so good. Recently, it came out that the finance department ordered that 600 million be part of the income for health department. If initially they were collecting and spending, and now that one is now going to be part of their collection in the budget, which means there's a part that the finance was submitting to health department that is not so now. These are critical matters that we should keep on remembering and addressing to find the real situation the department is facing. They are talking of understaffing, and just recently, employment was done for medical staff. We should now we should be told how many medical staff were employed, what number was needed, what is the shortage. Those are the kind of matters we should be raising when we are a serious lot we want to address. When statements are just being discussed left and right without referring to the other records, my colleagues, we shall not help this country. Let us get to know how many health staff were employed, how many were needed, the shortage that is there, so that we move on. And Madam Speaker, we are in a situation where we find a sub-county hospital is lacking so many important apparatus. And then we now wonder, do they worth being called a sub-county hospital? When we just continue the way we are going with lamentation, we are not going to help this county. Let us take the health department to task, the finance department to task, because this also comes in my mind. These health facilities are now being audited by the Office of Auditor General. And there's a gloomy picture of money wired from the Treasury to these health facilities cannot be accounted for. What is wired from Treasury to the health facility cannot be seen at a glance. What is that? At the end of the financial year, the financial record is branded adverse, disclaimer, and then we see big pending bills coming up. What is really happening? Something bad is cooking in Kisumu County, and there must be someone who is clever, who is playing with the mind of everyone. And then when such reports come here, you simply, I support. See, what are you supporting? If money wired from the Treasury to the health facility cannot be seen at a glance, by the end of the financial year, there's a big pending bill. The drugs are not there. The other equipment needed are not there. Our people, what are we discussing? Then we discuss, we support, we leave at that. Like today, it looks like there are some few members of health committee. I don't know, I saw a very big number here, 14. I thought the number had been reduced to 7. And the people who read the report, supported the report, are they members of the committee?
Honorable Pitt.
Madam Speaker, there are matters which when you want place, you must give us time.
Honorable Pitt.
This idea
Honorable Pitt, the floor is yours. The floor is yours, Honorable Pitt.
This idea of bringing up your contentions, which we have not been used to, and which we know are not covered in the standing order.
Honorable Pitt, the floor is just yours. The Health Committee members are 5. 7. Note 15. Kindly check the attached register.
I'm seeing chapter 1. The member of Health Committee, members of Health Committee who are here are only 2. Honorable Kennedy Oko and Honorable Nerea Okombo, which means a member who seconded is not a member of the committee. Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker. Honorable Pitt, the floor is yours. Kindly allow me guide you and the House that once a document is tabled before this House and circulated to members, it becomes a document of the House. So, Honorable Pitt, there is nothing wrong with any member of the House seconding the report.
Madam Speaker.
So the report was
a ruling.
Honorable Pitt. Honorable Pitt. Kindly, Honorable Pitt, that is the procedure. That when a document has been adopted by the House, it stops being a document of the committee. Once it has been tabled, the House owns the document, and the committee no longer owns that particular document. So this document stopped being a document of the committee once it was tabled and shared to members. Thank you, Honorable Pitt. You stand guided. Continue.
I wish the next sitting you put for us the standing order stating what you are saying. And Madam Speaker, the matters I've raised have been understood by the honorable members. If we don't take these reports head on, we shall be doing zero work. Because all the status reports that have been coming here, a lot of lamentation. And when you refer also to the audited reports, very black picture. So we must pull up our socks, Madam Speaker. Thank you. I so contribute.
Yes, Honorable Ojemo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I call the mover to reply. Thank you.
Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, first I want to thank the members for their contributions. And I want to start by agreeing with the Honorable Were that we seriously need adequate staffing in our hospitals in order to address the human resource needs in this hospital. And I also agree with him that health department takes a very huge budget for our county, but that is around 1.3 billion. Madam Speaker, recently JTRH was raised to level 6, and it is my prayer, or our prayer as a county, that it be gazetted and taken over by the national government. I think this one will leave the health department with good money to run the remaining hospitals. Madam Speaker, I also want to thank you for ruling out on the Operativo Iton that when a ruling has been made, there is no more debate. And that one reminds him that I want to remind him to go and read the standing order as well. Madam Speaker, there is one point I want to disagree with the Honorable Atiba Iton, Honorable Chele, Honorable Ajumbo, Honorable Oiko Pete Honorable Kumudo. The report I read is about Lumumba County Hospital, Kombewa County Hospital, and Moroni County Hospital. And you kept on talking about sub-county hospitals. So I failed to understand which are these sub-county hospitals we're talking about. It means that you were discussing a report that I did not read. Madam Speaker, again Honorable Tibu and Honorable Chele kept on mentioning about the report. I think members asking for this recommendation to be read are really out of order, because the report already was shared in good time, and I think the report was shared in our hall at 8 a.m. It is only Honorable Benny Petoyeko that received the hard copy report, and that is the arrangement that was made by this House. So that reason, I want to ask the members to be reading this report at their own time and put points down when the time for debate comes. Madam Speaker, I want to also disagree with Honorable Billy. Instead of discussing, contributing about the report, he took us back to Lela Dispensary, and Lela Dispensary is not in this report, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to agree partly with Honorable Billy about replacement when our staff get greener pastures, that the board should do replacement immediately. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Petoyeko mentioned about missing drugs in hospitals. I want to confirm that this normally happens, I think, due to delay of disbursement by drugs by KEMSA. And that many times is not our problem as a county. It is a national government problem. Madam Speaker, I think, otherwise, Honorable Speaker, I do not want to go much. I reply. Thank you.
Honorable members, a motion for adoption of the report by the Committee on Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation has been moved, seconded and debated upon. And I therefore want to put a question of adoption that may, as many are of the opinion, that the report on the status of the 3 county hospitals, that is Muhoroni County Hospital, Kombewa County Hospital, and Lumumba County Hospital, be adopted by this House. Say aye. Aye. May, as many are quoted opinion, say nay. The ayes have it. And the motion for adoption of the report by Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation on the status of Lumumba County Hospital, Kombewa County Hospital, and Moroni County Hospital has been adopted today, Wednesday, 19th June 2024 at 15:58 hours. Next order. Honorable members, the report stands adopted today, as I have said, and I want to direct that the report, together with the Hansard, be prepared and forwarded to the relevant department for necessary action. Next order.
Madam Speaker and honorable members, there is no any other business in the order paper.
Honorable members, before we adjourn, I've just been reminded of an activity that is ongoing. That is the registration for members of the public that may be in need of wheelchairs in your respective wards. It does not matter whether you're nominated or elected. If you know somebody who needs a wheelchair and does not have one, kindly liaise with Honorable Kennedy Ajua. Number two, we have amputees or members of the public that may have gotten involved in an accident or the other and lost an arm or a leg. There are those who had been, whose measurements had been taken earlier. They'll be fitted on 10th July next to Aga Khan Hospital. There is a temple there. And those that are still in need of artificial legs or arms, kindly liaise with Honorable Kennedy Ajua. Their measurements shall be taken on 11th of July. So don't leave this opportunity to pass. Those aids are given free of charge. So kindly coordinate with Honorable Kennedy Ajua and ensure that our members of the public benefit from this noble offer. Otherwise, honorable members, there being no any other business, the House stands adjourned until tomorrow, Thursday, 20th June, 2024 at 2:30 p.m.